everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought it'd be fun to look back on all of the products that I wanted to pan this year. I did a video right at the beginning of December last year. It was part of my, I was trying to do a Christmas, vlog, and it didn't work out that well. But anyway, I tried to post as much as I could in December, but I went through all of the products that I wanted to pan in 2023. And I've just gone through the video now because I couldn't remember what I had said. And I'm very happy and pleased to see what I spoke about and also see how many of these items I've actually finished and no longer in my collection. And it's through emptying them, not through decluttering them. I think there's only maybe one that I completely decluttered and one where I set out to do what I wanted to do and then it was eventually decluttered. But yeah, everything else I don't have or I have, and I'm just gonna go through it in order that I went through on the video. So I thought this would be fun just to see where I am. We are obviously past the midway point of the year. I meant to post this in July, I just didn't have any time to do so. So that's why it's coming out with you now, but it's fine. We still have several more months of the year. I don't know why I think, we're running out of time, but I feel like it's gonna be Christmas around the corner, which is really, really depressing. So the first item I have to share is I actually don't have any more. I finished this item. This is the BH Cosmetics Illuminating Primer. I will try to put a picture of what I'm talking about, but I rolled this into one of my project pans. It was either my project pan or it was Partners in Cream, one of the two, and I actually finished this a few months ago. It ended up being a primer that I really ultimately enjoyed. It had a beautiful illuminating sheen. It had a little bit of a yellow iridescence to it, and I actually really enjoyed that. But that one I did end up finishing, so that was definitely a little success and a little checkbox in my goals. And the next one is another primer, and this one was from Primark. It was their CBD primer, and this one as well I finished, which was another achievement of mine. So I always set out to try to go through as many primers as possible because it is a category that tends to grow quite a bit in my makeup collection. And this one, I think I would say there was about like halfway left, and it wasn't a full product when I said I wanted to finish it. So like the BH Cosmetic Primer, I just rolled it into a project and I worked on it this year, and I finished it a few months ago as well. I think maybe that was the first one that I finished. It didn't take me too long, and then I carried on working on the BH one. But yeah, that one is done, so I'm super happy that I was able to finish two primers that were on my list. The third primer that I spoke about, I actually have it in front of me, and it is something that I'm still working on in a project. It is another primer from Primark. It's the Prep and Perfect primer. It's another brightening one. It's quite illuminating. I actually have it on today, and it has banana extract, and I actually have it in my 50 Shades of Yellow / Gold, and I'm trying to pan this. I don't think I'll have this done by this year. I mean, you never know. I mean, it is slowly going down, but I don't use it all that much. But the project that I have rolls on until April next year, I believe. So I do have some extra time to spare if it's not complete by the end of the year. I'm not like forcing myself. It's just something that I definitely wanted to work on and get out of my collection. As of today, I've actually used it 16 times since I rolled it into the 50 Shades of Yellow / Gold. That is a Fantastic Ladies project pan if you're interested. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can get as much done this year, but I am happy that it's an item that I'm still working on. I haven't neglected it completely because it was something that I definitely wanted to finish and pan this year, and I am working towards that goal. So that one I was happy to see on the list. All right, then we have an item that I literally just finished, which is the Colourpop Tinted, what is this? Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer Foundation. I just spoke about this in my what is this? My Partners in Cream update. I just finished this because I can't get any more out, and I'm not going to cut it open. The pump is not pumping anything else, and I've had it for a good long time. So this is officially an empty, and it's funny, obviously I just finished it and now we're talking about it in this video. So this was something that I spoke about, which I didn't remember speaking about in that video, and I'm very pleased that this one is also done. So yeah, I feel really good about myself at the moment. Okay, the next one I do not have any more because it is also an empty. I worked on the Urban Decay Hydromaniac foundation earlier this year, and I did mention it in the video that I posted in December. It was a foundation. At the time, I didn't realize I didn't really enjoy it all that much. I was just a little bit iffy about it. It's an expensive foundation, and I thought for the price it wasn't something that I really loved, so it was something that I wanted to get out of my collection. And I did. I worked on it for one of my, I think it was when I shot my stash at first, and then I rolled it into a project because I used it quite a bit during my shot my stash, and I thought, well, let me just go through it. It's something I want to get through. And I ended up hate panning it because I just got so sick of it. So it's not something that I personally would recommend. I know a lot of people love it and they've bought it, and even with my experience and my thoughts on it, they have ended up enjoying it because obviously everyone has different skin textures and, you know, types, so it will work with different people. I have quite oily to combination skin. I do have dry patches though, so really, yeah, I definitely have combination skin because my forehead tends to get quite dry, and around here as well, but the rest of my face is like an oily zone. I don't have an oily T-zone, I have an oily oval square down here. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it ended up always sitting on my face and not really blending into the oils on my skin all that much. I think that was ultimately the issue with it. And I finished it, so I'm super pleased with that because that one had a lot of product in, and I don't have my numbers with me right now offhand, but that did take me quite a bit of time to get through. Okay, so the next one is another foundation, and it's the e.l.f. foundation, which I still have. It's the CC Camo foundation right here. So this one, I haven't really done too much work on it, to be honest. There are some foundations that I'm currently trying to finish. One being was, you know, literally was just this one a few days ago until I realized I couldn't get any more out. And then I have one other one which I'm trying to finish. So I'm not actively trying to pan this at all. I don't think there's anything wrong with this foundation. I quite enjoy it when I use it. I couldn't really tell you anything else because it's one of those foundations where I don't have that many opinions about. It is what it is. Is it the best? Probably not. Is it the worst? No. So it is just like middle of the road for me. There's not that much left. I mean, I don't think there's much left. So if I put it in a project right now, maybe I could get it done by the end of the year. But because I have other ones that I'm focusing on, my priority is kind of shifted on this item, to be honest. I've used it a little bit this year. I definitely pulled it for a shot my stash at some point. So I definitely used it at least 10 times. So it's not been completely neglected, but it has been neglected as something that I have been trying to pan. But otherwise, I'm not that fussed about it. I still have it and enjoy it, and it is what it is. So that one I'm pleased that I have. I mean, I spoke about 3 primers and 3 foundations. 2 primers and 2 foundations are done. So for me, I feel like that is a pretty good result. Okay, I do have the list on my phone. That's why I keep looking down. So the next one is my Rimmel London Stay Matte Powder. So this one, as you know, I've been working on all year in my what is it, my project pan. Oh gosh, this is gonna be like a spoiler for that because I haven't posted that yet this month. But yeah, I've been working on this. I did already have a pan in it, so obviously my goal for the year was to finish it, and it still is, and I'm still working on it. I literally just used it today, and I've used it for many days throughout the year. And yeah, obviously it has expanded quite a bit, and I'm really hoping that I can get it done. So this one I've been actively working on the whole year, which is quite sad because I'm still only where I am. I don't know. I thought it would be done or closer to being done at this point, but it is not. I haven't even broken like the side seal, which there's like, you know, the side seal where you break and then it starts crumbling. I haven't even done that yet. I'm trying to, but I haven't been able to. Okay, next one is my Nabla powder. So this one really broke my heart in the makeup sphere of hearts. You know, I loved this powder. This was the pressed powder. I can't remember the exact name, but again, I'll have a picture of it. And I think this would be definitely one of my favorite powder formulas. But sadly, I think what ended up being was the one that I received only lasted for maybe 2 months before a smell started to appear in the palette, and it wasn't the nicest smell, I will tell you that. So I persevered, and I think my goal was to hit pan and use as much as I could and then eventually declutter. So I did roll it into my project pan, and I did hit pan, and then I did actually depot it into another compact, which I know there's no issues with, because, you know, there were thoughts of, well, maybe it's the glue that's gone off and not the powder. So I depotted it, and then sadly it still smelled. So I ended up decluttering it completely. And yeah, that one was sad because I really like that powder. At the point where I feel like I need to buy more powder, I might repurchase that. I don't know why it went off. I don't know if they sent me a bad one or something like that, but yeah, I don't know. It might just be some of the ingredients, I'm not sure, but it did leave like a bad taste in my mouth, the fact that that did happen. Whereas I have an eyeshadow palette from Nabla, and that's perfectly fine, and there's nothing wrong with it. I know they're different ingredients, but it's just a weird thing to happen when you purchase from a brand. But anyway, so that one is no longer in my collection. I did set out and do the goal that I wanted to do, which was to hit pan, but sadly I no longer have it. Okay, next up is Natasha Denona palette. So I have the Bronze Cheek palette right here, and I spoke about in my video that I wanted to hit pan in the cream shades. I think in particular this one, because I had already hit pan in this one, and actually I have hit pan in this one. I wasn't even trying to. I had rolled this into a Shop My Stash a few months ago, and I ended up hitting pan, which was quite nice. I really do like this palette. I have wanted to pick up the tan one as well, because I think the tan one probably, especially with these shades, would work with me, my skin tone a little bit better. I do find these pretty dark. I mean, this as a highlighter is pretty dark highlighter, so it's hard for me to use in the year. It's quite a golden highlight as well. So really the only summertime is really the only time I can use it, and then obviously this is quite a dark bronzer for me. But I do think the creams work fine for me, and I can use them all year round. This is actually a beautiful blush. It's so beautiful, and the highlighter is really nice. It has a little bits, I would say little bits, but it's a little, there's like some pink to it. It's very nice. But anyway, I set out to, and I wanted to hit pan in that, and I did. So that was exciting. I just did that naturally. I really do like that item, so it wasn't too hard to do. Okay, what's next? Okay, then we've got my e.l.f. Electric Mood Quad, which I'm still working on. As you know, if you watch my Partners in Cream, I've been working on it. I worked on it all last year, and I've been working on it all this year as well. So this is what it's looking like now. This was a big, huge pan with product around the sides and edges, but I did mush it all together, and it kind of looks like that. There's not much product left in there. So yeah, I'm just trying to work on it. And then this one, I actually hit pan on it again. This was recently depotted and put into this palette, and yeah, I think I wanted to, what I said in my video is I wanted to at least finish this one, work on this one, and finish this one. I wasn't sure if I was able to do anything with this, and that's kind of been the same story all year round. I actually haven't even touched this blush, but definitely my goal is to finish these two this year. So I've been actively working on these, and yeah, I'm hoping that I can get at least the blush done. Okay, next up we've got my BH Cosmetics Belgian Waffle palette. I wanted to hit pan into the bronzer shades in this. It's so weird because I did that video thing, and I never wrote down a list of the products that I spoke about, but literally most of these I've worked on, because I rolled this into my 50 Shades of Yellow/Gold, and I hit pan in both of these shades, and that's what I wanted to do. I think somewhere in the back of my brain I remembered what I said, because me telling you right now, I didn't remember that this was in that video, but right now I just saw that it was in that video. So anyway, I hit pan in this shade first, and then this one, I've hit pan where the ridges are. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see if it's focusing or not, but I have a tiny itty bitty pan there. So this one is officially done. I do like this palette, and I was wanting to get more use out of it, so I ended up getting a lot more use out of it. And obviously I'll just carry on using it when I want to, but it was really nice to be able to get some pans in here. I like having pans in palettes that I enjoy. You know, that's kind of what you want, right? Because it kind of shows you like that item, and that brings me joy. For whatever reason, it brings me joy. It does. So I wanted that. Okay, the next one is a product from She Glam. I don't really support SheGlam or Shein anymore. Not that I ever did, but I did used to do a few hauls from Shein. I don't have any problem with people buying from Shein or SheGlam or anything like that. Honestly, I'm not going to preach to anyone because I think there are other brands out there like Makeup Revolution, Colourpop that just do fast fashion and everything like that. But the working conditions obviously with Shein and SheGlam are quite different to working conditions that we know of those other brands. So that's why there's that big area where you're like, ugh. But anyway, regardless of that, I do like this palette. This is the Peachy palette, the 3D Pro Face palette, and I wanted to hit pan in this blush right here because I really enjoy it, and as you can see, I do. I'm actually working on this as well. I don't think I mentioned this in the video, but I definitely mentioned the blush. So again, I've reached my goal. I feel like everyone's gonna hate me in this video because I've reached my goal, and you're gonna be like, oh, but I'm very happy about it. Okay, and then I spoke about two Colourpop products. They were two of my Supershock highlighters, and the first one that I wanted to finish was this one, Manifest That. I actually kept the compact because I did finish this a few months ago, and I kept it because I wanted the clout. So that was another one that I ended up finishing, which I'm very happy about. And then this one, the Coastin shade, I'm still working on in my Partners in Cream, which I just spoke about. So this one's no surprise that I still have, but I do still want to work on it. And it was no surprise that these two were in that video because I've been wanting to, I've been working on these for 2 years now, so I definitely wanted to get at least one done. So I've got one done, working on this one, and I believe it still will be around in 2024. I think that's my feeling right now. Okay, and then we have one item from Revlon. I actually had a blush from Revlon. I'll try to see if I can find a picture of it. I think it's discontinued, but I said in the video it was the shade Mauvelous. And it was a mauve blush, which makes sense. And I wanted to hit pan on it at least because there was quite a hefty amount of product in there. But the thing about that blush was, and for me in general, I'm not a huge mauve lover of blushes on my skin. So that was kind of an iffy factor for me, as well as the fact that that blush did end up generally looking patchy on me most days that I used it. It just didn't sit on my skin very well. So I did actually end up decluttering that blush, I want to say like weeks after I posted that video. So I haven't even had a chance to work on it this year because it didn't end up staying in my collection for 2023. It was decluttered, and that's the only one that I've decluttered without even like trying to do anything with it. And then the last one that I spoke about is actually my EBH cream bronzer in the shade Amber. And I actually have been actively trying to work on this. So it wasn't to finish this shade, but it was to hit pan or use it as much as possible. And that's literally what I've been doing in my Partners in Cream. I rolled it in and I just want to use it as much as possible, keep track. I would ultimately love to hit pan, but I think at this rate, it's not going to happen this year. But because it's a cream item and there's so much product in here, I did not want it to be sitting in a drawer not being looked at. So at least now I'm using it at least once a week, every week, you know, or more times than that. Especially now actually, given it's summer, it's a good shade for me for summer. So yeah, I just didn't want to have it sitting around as a cream item and being something that was quite expensive as well. So this one I'm pretty pleased with, and yeah, that is it. So 11 out of the 17 goals that I set I have actually hit, which I think is pretty good. And the rest of them, most of the rest of them I'm working on. There's only a few really that I'm not really working on. Oh, actually maybe just the one. I feel like this one is the only one that I'm not actively trying to finish this year. I don't have it in any project and I'm not using it. Everything else that I set out to use, I'm still using and actively trying to finish. So I think that is a good end result. So yeah, that is the video. I thought it'd be fun just to check in, see where I'm at. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!